Um, what's your AP.gg? Because I'll start by doing that.
It would be F3 N1R1079 at hashtag UW if you ask for that.
Did I spell that right?
It's all caps as well, if that matters.
Oh, okay. F3 N1R.
Oh, there's an R before the one, that's why.
Oh.
There's two R's, so there's one after the R and one after, yeah.
Right.
179.
The
Second now.
There you go. Cool. So, what's your goal with League of Legends?
Personally, I want to like get to the point where I can play ADC and like carry pretty well, kind of thing. The issue I have is I feel like I don't even play ADC that well.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I've gotten to support a bit because me and my friends have a flex team and I've got pushed from ADC to support.
Mm-hmm. So it's more just you just want to be good at the game. You don't want to be like super high elo or anything like that. Or does elo matter to you?
Elo doesn't actually matter that much to me, but
Okay.
it's more like I do want to play well
Mm-hmm.
because it's more fun then.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So I think to play well, you need to understand like what are good players and what are bad players, and then you can start like learning how to play well from there.
Okay.
And what I would recommend for most people to do that is just a one trick, because you'll learn your champion really fast, and then once you're good at your champion, you'll be good at you can start learning to be good at the game as well. But if you're trying to learn a champion and the game, it's much harder to do because there's twice as much stuff to learn.
Yeah, I did start with one trick in Jin for a while, and then recently I've started playing a lot of Jinx as well, because my friend who's like pretty damn good, he gets like 25 kills per match usually and stuff like that when he has a good match. He kind of like helps organize the flex team for us, and he's like he'd rather have like a proper ADC, like one that can shred tanks in the late game, rather than like Jin, who is lethality based and won't do that late game kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I started learning Jinx for that reason.
What type of do you play in any tournaments, or are you just playing flex queue?
Pretty much just flex queue. I did yesterday go to the tournament thing that was held with my friend, and I played support for 2 matches and ADC for one of them.
Was that the tryouts for the league server?
Yeah.
Are you intending to join a team for that?
I'm just kind of going along for the event, really. I don't know. I don't think I'm good enough for a team.
Okay. I mean, a lot of the players there, like, it's not very high elo, so like, it's mostly like silver, gold. I think there's a few bronze players as well. So you definitely can join a team. Like, you're already good enough if you're playing in silver to join a team.
That's my placement matches, to be honest, because I haven't finished my placements yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's cool. So if you're comfortable with one chicken Jinx, then I think that's perfectly fine to do. Like, she's a really like classic AD carry. So her play style is like the baseline of what you would do as an AD carry, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Unlike Jin, which is like an outlier because he plays completely differently.
Yeah, he's so much more supportive, and his damage is weird, and he like
because he's not auto attack based. Well, he's auto attack based, but he's not attack speed based.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
plays a lot differently because of that.
All right. So I'll quickly look at your runes and items. I think they look pretty good to me. I think.
I usually just use u.gg for my runes.
Yeah, I think that's fine, especially in like when you're not playing in high elo. It doesn't matter too much as long as they're not bad, and this is not bad. So.
Alongside like u.gg, I do sometimes check out Taco's like Mobify, which like gives you matchup guides a lot of the time. Like for that match with Draven that I sent over, I had a quick look, which I assumed it was just going to be do not die, and it was just do not die.
This one here.
Yeah.
So do you keep the same runes every game?
yeah, I kind of just go with. I don't really understand runes that well, so I just kind of go with the one that u.gg recommends.
Yeah, I think that's fine because these are not bad, and learning runes does take quite a lot of time, and it doesn't make you that much better at the game. So it's not too important until later. So I think this is fine. I won't tell you anything to change. And I think the same with your items. Your items are fine. There's nothing egregious that you're doing wrong.
Although in that Draven match, I did ask my friend because I was like, why can't I kill Cassante? I've got like almost full build and I still I'm not shredding him even though he's a tank. And that was like, I thought that was my goal. And he was like, because I should have built Bork for that match.
I wouldn't agree with that, especially not on Jinx. Like having crit is super important on Jinx. Like she's an AD carry which scales with crit because her rockets are AoE.
Yeah.
If you like in this match, you can tell they're quite tanky. Like they have Akali, Pantheon, and Cassante. So as like a fourth item, because in the late game you're basically only going to be auto attacking Cassante, and then once that's over, it doesn't really matter what happens next. You can build like a more DPS item as your fourth item, so you can build like a Phantom Dancer instead, will be more damage.
Okay.
But like your first three items are already the maximum DPS you can do to tanks, so it's just Cassante being OP. Like there's not much you can do about it. And you have like the runes to kill him as well. I would cut down is very OP, and I would probably just go cut down every game instead of coup de grace. Like you can change them about, but like 80% of games, cut down is going to be better than coup de grace.
All right.
But yeah, okay, that's fine then. I'll get straight into the VOD. Did you have comms in your game, or was it just?
No, it was a solo match.
Cool, it's fine. Keep it muted.
I also bought Cole because of the fact that I didn't feel confident I could kill Draven early game, so I was like, focus on trying to CS. I'm not a great at CSing, but it was kind of my point of thinking there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. There's like three options you have. You can either do Longsword, Doran's Blade, Cull, or I guess you can also do Doran's Shield. But I wouldn't do that after it got nerfed.
No, Navy carry, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think like who are you? Actually, I haven't looked at the game. Let me see who your versus, if they have an engaged support. Yeah, Pantheon. Okay. Generally, when you're deciding between items, Doran's Blade is like good against all in lanes because it gives you some max HP, but only if you're like planning on fighting them. So I think because you're not planning on fighting them, Cull is a really good item.
Awesome.
What you have to think about when you go Cull is that getting 100 CS normally happens like earliest at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're playing well, even, so it's probably more like 11 or 12 minutes. And by that time, you've already got your first item. So when you buy Cull, you're delaying your first item spike by a little bit. But if like, it doesn't matter too much in this game because I think like getting your first item, it's not really going to change the outcome of the game. Really for Jinx, like when you get IE is when you become really OP. So going Cull is fine. But if you're in a game where you do need your first item for whatever reason, then if you go Longsword, that's the fastest way to rush it to your first item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just I wouldn't do this, just because this ward doesn't really do anything. Like, you can just stand here and it does the same thing. So I would have just ran here and stood there. If you're scared of like Pantheon flashing on you and then you having to flash, you can put your ward in Tribush and that's fine as well. But I wouldn't. This ward doesn't do anything, so it's a pretty bad ward. Also, actually, what's more important, and I haven't done yet because there was no loading screen. But do you have like something you think about while you're in loading screen? Do you have like a routine you do?
No.
Okay. Having a routine that you do in loading screen makes a really big difference because you have much less to think about. Just because when I'm in loading screen, I already know, like I'll look at this game and be like, the only threat to me is Pantheon trading me with W, and also Draven trading me when he has his axes stacked. And also because he had Halo Blades, I know that he's got like a really fast all in. So I'm gonna think about that while I'm trading in this lane. Even though like your goal is not to trade, but I can already have that in mind, so it's gonna make it a bit easier for me. And then also, again, it doesn't matter for this lane because you're not trading, but sometimes you will be trading. So I would go on. I would go on Pantheon's wiki page. And I would check what his most important cooldown is, which is W. And then I remember that he has a 13-second cooldown on his W. And then I know when I can walk up and when I can't walk up.
Alright. That makes sense.
I think leashing is fine, because even in this lane, if you got there early, the Draven's just going to run at you and zone you off the wave. So there's nothing you can do to get push, even if you do get it. Even if you are that level 1, you're not going to get pushed, so it doesn't change anything.
I will say preemptively that my CSing is awful, and I try getting it better, but it just, I know it's a big issue, and I'm working on it slowly.
Yeah, that's fine. No, you learn CSing just by playing the game. Like there's, I showed someone a drill they can do to do with CSing. So if you're interested in that, you can do it. But I mean, it's quite a lot. It's a lot of effort, and it only gets your CSing better. So the guy I was showing it to, he wants to be a pro player. So I thought it was important that I showed that to him. But if you're just casual, then it's not like it's no big deal. You just get better with it the more you play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use Q though. This is quite bad because you'll use up your mana if you do this. If it's a minion you can get without using your Q, I would just use the minigun.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep my distance as best as I can here, and trying to catch whatever I can.
Yep. I think you just, when you're doing that, then you just have to keep in mind like what the threats are to you, because when you Q this minion, Pantheon is all the way back here and Draven's all the way back here. So Draven's max range is like, he can auto you if you're here. So you know, you could literally CS this minion here and there's no threat to you at all. So you can get this with a minigun and you'll be just fine.
Alright.
Yep, I'll just be focusing on making these easy to last it under tower right now. And yeah, obviously you shouldn't do that. The most important thing for this range, for this lane, is always going to be thinking about their range. So when you walk inside here, you can already know that you're going to take a really bad trade if you do that.
Yeah.
And that's again that's what having a game plan helps to deal with, because if you'd been thinking about that before the game, you'd be really aware of that, and I think you'd be much quicker to click away from him instead of taking the damage and then realizing, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to do that.
Makes sense, yeah.
But it's not too big of a mistake. Like, you do lose almost half or a third of your health, but as long as you don't make that mistake again, you'll probably be alright. Also, do you play on locked cam all the time?
I do sometimes turn it off, but I tend to be more comfortable with it on. There are moments though when I do turn it off, and it's usually when I'm normally when I'm attacking top down, because of the fact that like everything's in the way, and I know I've got like the mini map is huge for me and stuff like that.
When this is like all in the way.
Yeah. The reason I have a mini map is huge though is because I find it really hard to like actually pay attention to the map when it's like tiny, and a lot of the time I forget to, like, especially when I was playing support or whatever, or jungle, I just kept forgetting to check it and like be like, oh, this person's missing, or they're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I also play with a really big minimap. It just means you have to have a bit better camera management, because obviously you can't see this whole part of your screen.
Yeah.
I would, like, if you're planning on playing League for a long time, I would try and get out of this habit, because it makes a huge difference once you can play without locked cam. Like, I played for like 6 years now, and the first 3 years I played with lock cam, and like, it only took me 4 days to break the habit. I was really focusing on it, but I broke the habit in 4 days, and I could play without lock cam. And And the way you do it is like just unbind your camera and then get rid of the key, which can lock it back, and just force yourself to play without locked cam, like at any point in the entire game. And it'll feel terrible, and you'll lose every game, but soon you'll learn how to control it. And once you have that habit, it makes a massive difference.
I can imagine. Because I know a lot of the time it's very useful. It's just I forget to like do it. But if I actually did just play a few matches and basically throw them because I don't know how to fucking see the map, I think it would be quite useful.
Yep. Especially for AD carry, because a lot of the way you play AD carry is like you have to know what can kill you and what can't. And if you can't see your screen, like if you can't see who you're fighting, then there's no way of telling. So.
And that is another thing I struggle with, is I do kind of struggle with knowing who I can fight and who I can't, which later on you can see, because like cooldown management of the enemies I suck at completely. Like the Cassante had his gap closer like every time I walked up to him, and that's kind of what got me killed late game, I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's also a tip with that. I don't know what your sound is, so I'm just going to turn it on, because the way I've set up my sound is I've turned everything down apart from like the abilities, and like with stuff like Cassante, you can hear when he's got Q3, so it's like it's OP for that in like team fights. I don't even have to look at Cassante to know what he's got.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, yours sounds fine. Like Pycoke was really loud then, so I can tell it's alright. So right now you're just looking at the game. You're in a really terrible spot because your wave is slow pushing away and Nocturne's gone topside. There's nothing you could have done about this. It's unfortunately just how the game is getting played. Maybe if you're playing Flex, you can tell Nocturne that he's going to need to path bot this game, because if the bot lane are good, they're going to crash the second wave and then hold a freeze here until they kill you. But, I mean, luckily, the people you're playing against are pretty bad, so they're just pushing the wave back into you, and it looks like you'll just be able to farm under tower. And I assume they're going to do it on every wave, which will be really nice for you. But
yeah, I think they did, and I think later on they do it for one wave. They did start freezing,
Mhm.
and I think I just went like somewhere else for a bit because I knew I couldn't do anything bot.
Yeah. So the one thing I would keep in mind is that because you want the wave to be here all the game, you should do everything that you can to keep the wave there. So I wouldn't have auto-attacked this wave until I saw that they were autoing it themselves. Like, right here, I think you auto this minion. I mean, I assume you're trying to last hit this, but
Yeah.
if you weren't trying to last hit it, then this was a bad auto-attack. I think you're playing pretty good so far. It's going to be a really boring lane phase because you have nothing to do but farm.
One thing I do believe in this match as well is like I don't like to think this, but I do believe this time the teammates were quite iffy, because a lot of the time they were like split pushing bot or whatever, and I can't stop them on my own.
Yeah.
And like the Cho'Gath or whatever, not pathing to bot when and just trying to maintain the fight in mid or whatever, just wasn't it, I don't think.
And that's unfortunately that's one of the biggest problems you have as AD carry, is you have very little say in what happens on the map, just because you can't walk anywhere without being killed. So you always have to be around your team, and
you're very team dependent. That's one thing I do know.
That doesn't mean that you shouldn't understand what is the correct play though. Like, especially if you want to play flex, being able to tell your team that when you need to be mid and when you need to be bot and all these things is really valuable. And also, if you know the correct play, you can make it easier for your team to do the right thing. Like, you can ping them and you can be in the right spots, which will encourage them to go and collect their side waves, which is normally the problem that you run into. Yeah, I think you're fine again here. Like, again, this is like this is probably the most obvious example of why having locked camera is bad, because I have literally no idea what's going on over here.
That does make sense. Yeah.
And that's quite important for me, because I might need to walk up and I might whatever. I just don't know anything. So I also don't know where Draven was until he walked in there. So he could have just been in this bush the whole time. And if I'd walked here and he traded me, then that would be really bad.
Yeah.
I assume you're just gonna not die and catch the wave, which is all good.
I do also like try to pick off minions with my W when they're that far away.
Mhm. This is all just going to be like a like an exercise in last hitting. Like there's nothing else to focus on in this lane because as long as Draven has his axes stacked, you're never going to be able to do anything. So, and he seems to not drop his axes, although he is going low mana. So you can think to yourself soon, if he drops an axe and he has to cast another spell, he's going to beat him and he won't have any more axes, and then you can actually start trading him.
The thing about it as well is when he does get low mana, Pike does roam a lot mid because he can't do much bot.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine. I think you should be happy. If Pike is on the map and you're not dying under tower, then that's a good thing for you.
Yeah, no, I didn't complain about it per se.
This is a bit awkward though. You see how your wave is gonna, like, it bunched up under tower? It means it's gonna slow push away from you now, which is, again, really scary, because they're gonna have the opportunity to freeze on you. So, okay, you see Pantheon? That's really good. I would just hug, like, right here and last hit minions. Because Draven could be here trying to cheese you, and that wouldn't be good. But your game plan right now should be thinking, how can I crash this wave into his tower without dying? And you don't know where Shaco is. You also don't know where Draven is. You can assume he reset, but you don't know for sure. So what I would do is, well, actually, you have two options. You can either try and kill this wave as fast as you can. The only problem is if Draven's here and he holds it, like if he freezes it here, you can't do anything against that. Or you can wait and just last hit this wave, and then when this wave, which is here on there, gets to like here, then you can try and kill the wave then. And if you kill that one, then you will get a crash. But it's a bit harder because, well, actually, it's not harder. It's guaranteed. It's just it's going to take longer. So.
I think I do try to just like push up because I notice Pantheon mid and stuff.
Mm-hmm. This is fine. So now I would know that I want to kill this wave as fast as I can, so I just use everything I have. Like I would Q every minion, I would W it, I would do everything to kill it as fast as I could.
I think I do just try to last hit still here now, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly.
It's like you're kind of doing like a weird in between where you're autoing off cooldown, but you're not crashing it super fast. So it's not a bad thing, but like the faster you kill this wave, the faster you can be back at base, and then
Yeah, and Draven's just returned to lane as well.
yeah, it also means that if Draven tries to freeze it, then he's gonna have to tank the wave for longer than if you'd killed it with your Q. And Jinx is really good for this because you can just Q these minions like 4 times and they'll die. So.
Yeah.
And also, I wouldn't be scared of him. Like, you need to kill this wave, so.
I think I reset here to buy something.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
If I remember correctly.
Draven's going to hold it, which is really annoying. I don't think you can do much about this. I think boots is fine. I would either do tier 2 boots or I would do Noon Quiver though. I wouldn't do like both of them because like the reason you want the boots is to get move speed and the reason you want Noon Quiver is to get damage. But what you've done with this is you have a little bit of move speed and you have a little bit of damage. So it's kind of like
spread myself a bit more.
Yeah.
than I should have.
It's kind of the worst of both worlds. But I think this getting Noon Quiver is good because you can kill minions really fast. So like if they're slow pushing into you, you can try and thin the wave and that'll stop you getting dove. And then having tier 2 boots is good because you can run away from them faster, which you also want to do. So both of them are fine. I don't think it matters too much which one you do. I probably would have done tier 2 boots. But it doesn't really matter. So. I would want to look at the wave as well when I'm walking back here, but you can see it slow pushing into you, so you won't have to walk up, which is good. As long as you don't take any bad trades right now, then you're going to be fine.
Like the early part of this game was literally just me trying to survive.
Yeah.
I don't think much really happens.
Yeah, I mean, you do the same mistake here as you did the first time they crashed the wave, where you just there's no reason to take this trade. Like you could just stand here to take this minion. But
I think that's one thing I need to think about is like where I need to position myself to get the minions.
Mm-hmm. And also, like sometimes you'll be forced to walk up for a minion like this, because if you don't walk up right now, it's gonna die. But I mean, this is a caster creep, which isn't getting focused by anything. So you could wait like 30 seconds and that minion's still going to be there. So there's no pressure at all, so I'll set that one. That's good. I wouldn't trade him though. Remember, you don't want to trade with him. Yeah. It was good. Like as soon as you got his flash, you won. So, like it's again just keeping in mind what your game plan is, which is just to farm. Like you don't want to fight them at all because their champs are so OP level 1. So yeah. As soon as
I think part of me there was like he's low enough, and I was trying to like get to a point where I can ult him because I think my ult could have killed him after that tower shot hit him.
Mm-hmm.
But then he ults me first.
Yeah.
Which is why I W'd to like get an easier shot onto him.
Yeah.
Missing completely because my aim is awful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's fine. I like it's obviously really bad to die here, but like the mistake is still it's the same mistake you'd be making, which is like trading when your game plan isn't to trade. So. And obviously it's like especially when you're playing into a lane like Draven and Pantheon, this is the only way that they can win the game is by killing you. Like if they don't kill you, you're just gonna outscale them. So this is the only way that they win the game when they do this. Which is like why it's extra punishing to make a mistake like that, especially against Draven, where he gets extra gold for killing you.
I do miss my ult here because it goes right between them, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. I would have pinged his flash as well before this gank happened.
Pyke did ping his flash.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, and then Draven gets the support to get a kill instead of thingy.
That doesn't matter too much. Pyke's good at using gold, so it's no problem at all. As soon as I get back here, I do the same as last time, where I just Q the wave and crash it as fast as I can.
Yeah. And shake opens.
Cool. I think it does crash, yeah. You have time to kill. Oh no, you don't actually. Wow, Draven is so fast, what the hell? I didn't think he'd be back in lane already.
He has boots and then he used his W, is
Yeah.
really my guess.
I would look
the
at...
fight that got him killed was like while I was walking back to lane still, so...
Yeah, yeah. I would look at Draven right now, just to see what he does. Because if he fast pushes this wave, then I don't want to recall, because I'll lose 6 minions. But if he's slow pushing, then obviously I can't farm while he's there, because I'll just die to Pantheon ult. So I would just recall and bite boots. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's good. I don't know if you actually saw his wave, because I didn't. But if that's what you were doing with your camera, then it's fine.
I was just, yeah, I think he was... I can't actually tell what he was doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't buy boots, I just went more towards Kraken's lane.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's not like boots is super important for you, and getting Kraken is nice. So it's just if I was doing this, I never would have bought tier 1 boots. I would also ping Nocturne and Pyke that you need cover on this wave, just because Pantheon can W and you'll die here.
Yeah, I don't ping a lot, which I should have pinged more, I think.
Hmm. Like if I was Pantheon, I would have just died and gone 1-for-1 with you. Like straight away, I would just sort of flashed on you, but it's fine that they don't do that. I think this is a bit risky. I wouldn't have placed the sword. Just because Draven can run you down if he's there.
I think Draven and Pantheon are on Drake, yeah.
Hmm. It's fine here because they were on Drake, but you don't see Draven, so you don't know if they are or not. This is also... okay, holy shit, okay. Poggers, I guess. But I was going to say this is a complete waste of time. What you should do is, as soon as you see Draven on Dragon, is just kill this wave as fast as you can. And then you can still ult this dragon. It's not like you have to stand next to it.
The ult is like knock proximity based, but
yeah, I
completely forgot I sold the Drake, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. You get it. I mean, that's really good. I just would have crashed this wave because I'm going to lose a bit of CS because I have to sit under my tower while I wait for them to push it into me. But yeah, that's super nice.
So another thing with me playing Jinx is because I'm just starting out like trying to one trick. I still don't like fully know how much damage our ult does.
Mm-hmm. It's I think it's
'cause I know it does more damage after a second travel. But
yeah.
I don't actually know like the conversion rates, obviously, from like with armor and all that, and, like squishiness and whatever.
Yeah, you'll get used to it just by playing it. I think that the execute caps are like 35% HP. So, like it's like this much HP, you'll do max damage to Draven already. And same for like neutral objectives and stuff.
Alright.
But yeah, you'll just get used to it by playing the game. Is how you learn damage. It's not like you can...
that's kind of how I did it with Jin as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same mistake again. This time he baited Pike into tanking damage for you because you were walking up, but this is really nice. I think Pike griefs there. He shouldn't E in there. This is fine still. You could honestly, like, actually, it's surprising how fed you are. You could have just ghosted forward and got a double kill here, I think.
I did forget I have ghosts, to be honest, as well, part of me.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised Pike even gets that off. I thought he would get one shot, but I think as soon as you see him get this, you can just ghost forward because they've used both their spells, like Shaco W'd and Pantheon W'd, so they have nothing left. Yeah, definitely pop ghost.
I do die to Shaco here because I do a dumb move rather than warding it. I do move into the bush.
Oh
which
yeah.
is, I would argue, a really bad play. Because if I warded it, then I would still have the range advantage.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, again, with stuff like this, I can't really, like, tell you what to do better, because you just playing the game more is going to make you better at situations like this. Like, obviously I can tell you should ward the bush, but I think you already know that, so...
Yeah, I the moment I died, I was like, I should have warded it, why the fuck did I not ward it?
Yeah, and also you shouldn't kill his clone when you see him queue here. Because as soon as the other one queues, you know that one's a clone. And you can just minigun this one, and that one won't die, so you won't get feared. Also, minigun on Jinx is more DPS in close range like this. This is really annoying though. I think you're going to get dove now. You should, again here, you have to tell your team what to do. Like, you have to tell Pike that you can't lane right now, because you're just going to die. So I'd spam assistance ping, like, already back here, I think. Where is it? Like, right now. I would move my camera mid to see what Pike's doing. Like, if he's about to kill a Kali, then yeah, sure, whatever, he can be mid, but I need to tell him that I need him bot lane to help me. But you're really fed now, which is good. Pantheon's way too scared though, like he can dive you really easily. So it's really lucky that you get to farm this wave and he won't kill you. I think even in like gold, people will start killing you if you're on your own there.
That doesn't make sense. It's more of no.
I'm going to skip through this because I think this game is going to be decided by team fights. Like, there's not much laning that happens in this game.
And my team fighting was a bit. I did do some really bad misplays, which is why I also uploaded this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pike is a complete lunatic. He doesn't even ping that he's going to do this. It's like 0 pings. It's pretty funny. It ends up being good because it saves you getting dove, but nice. This will just be spacing now. Nice. It's pretty well played actually. You see Shaco there?
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about it. I think it's not even like here you could like you have to stay here because you can't just drop the wave, so I think getting 2 for 2 is already really good. I would sell my potion. I mean, you don't have to now, but yeah.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah. I would also, I'd get a blue trinket on this base, and I'd probably buy a pink ward as well. Like, a lot of people say you shouldn't buy pink wards because they're a waste of gold, but they can't do anything bad for you, really.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good.
So I get one of those too. This is like this is when you want to start going mid lane though, because you can't side lane here at all as Jinx, because like literally every champ on their team will solo kill you, even their support. So it's really difficult to be in the side lane right now. You did see all 5 people though, so there's no risk. But after this wave crashes, I would immediately run mid. The safe way as well. I wouldn't want to walk in the river right now. And again, because I want to be mid, I would now queue this wave as much as I could and then run mid, or just fight dragon. Cause
for me here, it was more of a case of I think I have 2 left on Cole. I just wanted to get it finished quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I went for some minions there.
That makes sense.
Went up to dragon.
But I mean, obviously, like even if you finish Cole, like right now, it's not like you're gonna base because you need to be on the map to do dragon. So basing here would be really bad. Like even if you were finishing IE right now, I would stay on the map just to do dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And this here, like I think, your default is just to play scared, which is fine because you're playing Jinx, and a lot of the time that's the right play. But here you need to recognize that like Akali has just respawned, so she's right here. Pantheon was mid, so he can't gank you. You're 1v2 and you're letting Draven do whatever he wants. Like, you can literally just stand here, queue the wave, and then walk with your team to go and get ready to fight dragon. And you're letting Draven just do whatever he wants for free, when right now he's not allowed to be aggressive.
I think my point of logic here was if I tried to get closer to like do a fight here, he just walks under tower and there's not much we can do about it.
Mm-hmm. But so even if Draven walks on the tower, you can just auto the wave then, and then you've got what you wanted. Because when you're here, sure you would like to kill Draven, but his tower's right here, so whatever you do, he's just going to walk to tower.
Yeah.
So the next best thing you can do is kill his wave, because then you take away his, like that's his advantage, is having a wave, and you take that away. But yeah, doing this is pretty bad because again you have 2 people bot and you're getting nothing for it. So
You get one shot by Akali now.
That's a bit gross. I mean, there was no reason to walk back up, though, is the thing.
I think I only went up because the ping that happened there, but I don't even know if there was ping. I think there was.
Yeah,
And
well,
and the pike went all the way around.
yeah. I mean,
To be honest, I don't think that was fightable.
yeah, I think
Looking back at it.
you can tell, like, I don't know, a lot of... How long have you played the game for?
I've played it since like I would say in November, not last year, but the year before.
Okay, so a decent amount of time. Like, I think most people can probably tell that they're going to die to Akali here.
Yeah.
And I think you probably can as well. Like, everyone knows that if Akali's here and I'm in her ult range, I'm going to die in 1 second. Or even if it's not 1 second, like, even if she's 0-5, she's still going to kill you there. So I just know that I need to run away. Because as soon as you get away from her, like, you get such a big advantage for your team, because they've committed 2 people bot, and we're pushing in mid. So we're going to take a free mid tower here, and because Akali's just given up mid wave to try and flip a play bot, but you have perfect vision, and you just walk away from the gank. So now you've already got the advantage, and they've made a mistake, but then you walk in and you let it work out for her.
I think from what I'm hearing, I need to look at the game more like a management thing as well, of like sending manpower to certain places and thinking, okay, like I don't need to go back in here because they've already committed too much to this.
Mhm. It's probably a little bit to do with like understanding like what's going on the map, because right here when you walk back in, it's kind of like you feel like you have to do something.
Yeah.
Whereas like in my head, I know that I've already won the game by walking backwards. Like
Yeah.
I know I've already pushed mid wave to their tier 2 and we're gonna have position on Drake. And they've got nothing for it. So like in my head, I've already won the game as soon as I see Akali.
Whereas for me, like the inaction doesn't look like that for me. For me, it's like I'm not doing something at that point.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of ADC syndrome a lot. Like so many AD carry players do this, where they're like, oh, if I just space my attack range perfectly, they can do nothing to me, and I can do free damage wherever I want. But
Yeah.
like, you can't. So
No, I can't.
yeah, and I'm sure we'll see it in team fights later as well, where there'll be times where you're like, I just need to space my attack range perfectly, and then you're not thinking about like what's actually going on in the team fight.
Yeah, no, I'm really bad at paying attention to what's actually happening in team fights. I just kind of like focus on auto attacking, and then like I said, the Cassante just like gap closes me every time, and
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, definitely dying like this is super terrible. Like you get like doubly punished, because not only do you die, but you're also now giving them dragon.
yeah, and
By being
Cassante's
dead.
pushes as well.
No way you win. What is going on? You're 3v. You should be 3v5, 3v4, and you're winning a fight. So that's pretty nice. Your team should get aced here, I think. And even Cho'Gath TP's in. Oh my god, it's so bad. Okay. And again, this is a really bad habit. Is the walking bot thing. Generally, like after your tower's taken, it's too like risky to go bot, and after you take their tower, you don't want to be bot anyway. So
Yeah.
like in the
I
mid
think for
game,
me, I think for me it's been the case of like I've always like, from what I understood, you go mid after you take bot tower.
yeah,
And I don't look at it in the sense of like, oh, I'm not safe there, because, well, yeah, I should probably just think about that more.
Mhm.
Of like what happens if this person goes bot and whatever, and I realise that none of the enemies, every enemy that goes bot will kill me.
yeah. So the way kind of League of Legends works, honestly, is that the way the lanes work is you have a solo laner top, because or you have a solo laner top, you have a solo laner mid, and you've got your bot lane, which is 2 characters in bot.
Yeah.
And the reason they're there is because it's closer.
To Drake.
Yeah, although also it used to be because it was closer to Drake, but lots of things have changed, and now it's because the bot tower doesn't have any resistances on the plates. Like the other ones have got resistances until 5 minutes, but this tower's only got resistances, or it doesn't have any resistances on the plates, so you can take plates easier 1v2. Which is why like teams won't send one player here and two people here, two people in top lane. Like that's why they always send two people bot and not like sometimes do it the other way around.
That makes sense, because I was thinking about this when Season 14 started, of like, Garubs are like a way more important objective early game now, because of the fact that like they just give you so much like pushing power, and how like I was like, maybe that we will switch because of that, but it makes sense since they have resistances, we wouldn't switch.
Yeah, because like if you did that now, like you would take like one plate top, and the enemy team would have like 3 plates in bot lane. So that would be bad. But generally, like you want your AD carry to be at the objective because they're the team fight DPS. So they need to be able to get to the objective, and it used to be because Dragon spawned before Rift Herald. So you put your bot lane bot so they could get Rift Herald, or so they could get Dragon. And that still applies though for the rest of the game. Like as an AD carry, you always want to be able to go to the objective, which is why. Do you ever watch pro play?
No.
Okay, in pro play, like a lot of times after the first Dragon gets taken, the next time the bot lane recall, they go top lane to take the Rift Herald because there's nothing to do bot anymore.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think honestly in this like specific moment I should have gone top to clear the wave, because Echo was already clearing my bot wave, and it's a tower straight like behind me, so I think I could run away from Cassante if he was still there, but I think Cassante backed after split pushing, and then going mid.
Yes.
I think what I should have done.
The default, like when you're macroing, the default like thing should always be to catch a side wave. So you're right, you should definitely go top here because no one's getting this wave. So yeah, that's what your default should always be. A lot of the time though, the problem is like as an AD carry, like even if you do have your tower, like most champions are just going to run under the tower and dive you 1v1. So, but yeah, definitely I would go top here, and then I would go mid after taking that top wave, because mid lane is the closest to everything, is what I was eventually going to get to. So, and it also means that because you're going to have your support with you mid, you're going to have like 3 people mid, you'll have your jungler as well. So it's much easier for your team to take mid prior when you're mid. And mid prior kind of dictates the game, because when you push this wave, like you get vision everywhere. They have to catch it as well, so you see them like rotate out of the jungle to catch the wave, and then you know that you can walk into their jungle and put your own vision down because you're seeing them on mid wave and you don't have to face check anyone. So like mid wave kind of dictates how the game gets played for whichever team has mid prior.
Since it's also the shortest wave, it's the quickest to push.
Yeah, like it's going to crash before the side waves. So. This is so weird.
Yeah, no, I just, like this moment I was like, part of me was like, why is Cho'Gath bot? Because Cassante is still top.
Yeah. This is weird for like 100 reasons. Like the first is you haven't pushed out your side wave. So like even if you like, even if this play, like say there's a fight here and this play goes well and you kill everyone, your wave isn't going to be pushed yet, so you're not going to be able to take the bot tower. Or if this play goes badly, then the enemy have a wave to push your bot tower with, which is why you wanna push your sideways before an objective. But also like your jungler and support are both in base, so this is like this is just a weird fight because you don't even have smite to do this dragon with. I suppose you have Cho'Gath ult. That's kind of a big reason actually, but
I mean, I only went up here I think because he was already doing it, and I was like, I want to make like kind of not necessarily fix like the mistake he's making or whatever, but kind of just like quickly finish it. Maybe it will end up well because we get an objective out of it.
I mean, the problem is it's a complete flip as whether they have vision or not, because if they have a ward here, a ward here, a ward here, like even just a ward and dragon, any one of these wards, and they see you walk here, and I assume that they know Nocturne and Pike are in base. Even if they don't, they might still just walk to dragon and start fighting you, and it's going to be a 3v. It'll be Draven, Akali, and their jungler Shaco, It'll be a 3v2, and you have no peel or anything. So, like, if they have a single water right now, then this is a really terrible play.
Yeah.
And I assume they're just going to come and kill you.
Akali doesn't actually go down here, it's only Draven.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it actually does go well for, even though it really shouldn't have.
Yeah, like, if I was Akali, I just would have run here. If I was Pantheon, I would have instantly ulted. Like, it's
weird to me, because it's like, even if they didn't know this was happening, Draven did just ult there, so they should have gotten the vision onto the Cho'Gath that he's doing it.
Yeah, I assume what happened is they didn't have any vision, and they thought the Nocturne was doing it. So that it was going to be a 3v3, and they didn't want to take it. Which I guess it's really lucky for you, but this shouldn't work, and it's a pretty big mistake. This time it's actually good that you didn't push out bot wave. Like, ideally you would want to push out this wave, but like, they have Pantheon, they have Shaco, they have Akali, they have all these things which will kill you if you ever step in a side lane.
I think I overstep here anyway. If I do, actually I think I just don't, I can't remember why I do it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can tell here, like, this is another really obvious spot where camera's really bad, because you have no idea what's going on.
That was there for, in case the Shaco comes down, because I think I saw him on map there.
Mm-hmm. But now your lane assignments are really nice. Like, this is exactly how you want the map to be. You have one of your solo laners catching the side wave. You're in mid lane, so you're really safe to farm, and then no one can go bot lane right now because their collapse is too strong. So bot lane is just on its own, waiting for the enemy to push it to you. And this is how you want it to be. And you're happy like this because you're Jinx, and because you're getting stronger the longer the game goes on. And because Cho'Gath is chunked, you can't really fight, but like, this is a good opportunity. What I would be thinking right now is I'd be waiting for, I think Akali's probably going to show bot here. Well, actually no, she's mid, but someone is going to go bot lane, and then when I see 3 people in mid, I would ping Nocturne that he should ult here, and we can do a 4v3, because they have to catch bot wave because it's pushing towards their tower. I hate this. This is really scary.
Yeah, no.
Each time you do this, I'm like, I'm getting scared. I'm like, someone's just gonna kill you. So there's no reason. Like, you get nothing out of doing this. It's not making you any safer. Like, even if you're placing E in this bush, it's not making you safer, because, like, let's say you see Shaco right now. Is it gonna change how you play?
Yeah.
No, you're just gonna be under this tower and farm the wave. So it doesn't change anything. Nice. It needs to be, again,
this
like,
is really bad here, because they basically just claw us here, or whatever the word is, when they're like coming in from both sides. And I was just terrified for my life the moment this happens, because I'm walking into there and I'm like, okay, Akali Pantheon behind me, I'm not getting out this alive.
Yeah, this is like, the way you prevent this happening is, there's like 3 stages to a team fight. There's like 3, as an AD carry, there's like 3 orders of priority. The first thing, like, you want to do is you want to be out of stuff which can kill you. So in this game, like, I know Pantheon W kills me. I know Akali getting in range is going to kill me. Like, I know Cassante is probably going to kill me if I don't have any peel. Like, stuff like this. Like, I don't want to be in melee range at Cassante. These things will kill me. So this is what I want to have in mind before the fight starts. Like, I want to be thinking about all these things, and being like, okay, as long as I'm not inside of these things, then I can do the next thing in the team fight, which is just to auto attack the closest person to you. And that's what all AD carries do. The problem is, most AD carries do this before they do the first thing, and then they end up dying. And then the third thing you can do is, if you see an angle to, like, to make a play, so like flash in and get like a double kill, then that's what you can do as the third thing. But this is harder to do, and you don't even have to be good at number 3. Like, the first 2 are enough. So with this in mind, I would already know, like, in this team fight, that the only things which are killing me is walking into Cassante over here. Like, I know that can kill me, and I know that walking into Pantheon and Akali can kill me. So
Yeah.
I know I need to stand in a position where they can't do that. And in this fight, like what I would have done is I would have walked with my team right now when they kill a Draven. Like I would walk this way, and I'd move my camera up here so I can see what's going on, while keeping in mind that I need to make the decision of, can I walk this way away from Akali and Pantheon and just walk through Cassante? Like, can I just kill Cassante and walk through him? Or do I have to run under my tower away from these guys because I can't walk through Cassante because I'll die? But the only way I can do that is by looking at Cassante. So right now, they start fighting Cassante, and because I can't see him, I can't make that decision. So, like again, it's the camera thing, right? But here, like as soon as you walk into this choke point, you can no longer walk this way because you'll die. So you just have to, like when you're kiting in this fight, you need to auto attack and then click forward towards them so that you're getting away from these people.
That makes sense. I think for me, I just kind of panicked at this point because I was like, okay, no, I'm surrounded. This is awful, and just don't even know what I do here.
You could also just like R and then flash down here. That seems fine as well because this is such a good ult right now. But yeah, you're kiting correctly, so that's fine. I mean, unfortunately, like, you just made the wrong choice of that it wasn't possible to go into this choke, and it was impossible to make the right choice because you couldn't see what was going on. So
yeah, I think I will do the few games of just camera unlocked until I get comfortable with it, because it does seem like really important.
Yeah, and like it's well, like when I played the game for the first 3 years where I had my camera locked. Like, people would always be like, oh, you should unlock your camera. And I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. I can see on my minimap where people are. Like, people would be like...
Abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the actual state of what's happening, like health and everything like that.
And also, like, when you move your camera, like, you don't even have to look at what's happening. Because, I mean, first of all, you can listen to what's going on. So you can hear spells going off. Whereas here, like, I can't hear what's going on. Like, I don't know if, like, Shaco clone exploded or what, I don't know anything. But, like, you can just see in your peripherals, like, this is perfect camera management because I can see everything I need to see. Like, I don't have to look at these guys to know that they're running towards me. I can see in my peripheral vision that I know these guys are coming towards me. And I can still have my attention on what abilities are being used in this fight. Because this is what you want your screen to look like when you're fighting. But obviously when you go to here, this is like the worst because all of this space here, like all of this is completely useless.
Yeah.
I would want this part here to be my screen and I want it to be as big as possible. But yeah. Just ult him.
Yeah, I get a few picks with my ult this game. It's so funny.
You're getting really fed though, which is crazy. Like, you have IE in base now, I'm pretty sure, when you sell Cole. Which I would probably base for right now. Because you're not really getting too much out of being on the map. This is a bit scary, but yep, it works out. Like, I'd be a bit scared to chase right now, just because their whole team is reset, so they could all just be together. But it's fine. Like, it's obviously really weird. Like, you don't just see AD carries farming your Raptors in most games. Like, when I see this, I'm thinking that they've got 3 people in this bush behind him, and they're baiting or something. But it's fine.
Pretty sure, I can't remember if it's the enemy team or our team, but we do laugh about it. Or something.
Oh yeah. The bike.
It's just so strange.
Yeah, but I really want to base because, like, as I said in loading screen, like, your biggest power spike is IE, so not buying IE is kind of bad.
I think power spikes are also like a thing I just don't pick up on really fast. Like, the only power spike I know of by heart is Bork on Twitch, and that's it. And I don't even. I think it's probably still the biggest power spike I know.
Yeah, I mean, so power spikes are like, you kind of pick them up by feeling, but generally they're like when you finish items, and like it's different for most champs. Like for example, Aurelia, she power spikes when she gets Vamp Scepter. She's already like the strongest champ in the game as soon as she gets Vamp Scepter.
I did see a meme online about that.
Yeah. And for AD carries, like it changes almost every season because the items keep getting changed. Like it used to be 3 items on crit AD carries because that's when you could activate IE. But now, because you can get IE early, like generally on a crit AD carry, once you get IE is when you power spiked.
Alright.
But like in a game like this, where they're not building armor yet, so like the Akali and Pantheon don't have armor yet, it's only the Cassante, you are going to power spike with IE. But in another game, like when you're against armor, you might not power spike until you get LDR, so you might not power spike until 3 items. But I mean, like I would just think of it as each item completion is a power spike. Like some will be bigger than others. Like you finishing Kraken is not as big of a power spike as Twitch finishing IE, sure, but even when you finish Kraken, you're still like twice as strong as you were before you finished Kraken. So it's still a power spike, even if it's not as big. But yeah, again, I would want to be mid right now, and I would ping Echo that he needs to be the one to fix top wave. Yeah, I was gonna say this is what should have happened earlier when you're killing Draven, is because the fights are so disorganized. Like Nocturne is farming his Gromp. You want to be in base because you haven't bought your IE yet. Echo didn't ult for whatever reason. I don't know. I thought he had ult, but Echo didn't ult.
Too fast or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it was just really bad like conditions for the fight. Like it was, we're just flipping. We're just hoping that Shaco isn't going to come and kill us, or that Pantheon isn't going to ult. And they obviously are because they want to win the game. So.
Yeah. Although I did get a 500 gold shutdown from that Akali, which I would argue is pretty good.
Yeah,
But
it
it
is.
was
But
the ult, which I could have gotten from anywhere.
yeah, and also Akali could just decide not to die right now. Like she could see that there's a Zhonya here, and oh well, I didn't kill Echo, but I made him use a Zhonya, so I'm just going to leave, and I'm not going to give my shutdown. And then Shaco's going to come and kill him instead. Yeah.
I think also a certain bit of dopamine from the freaking Jinx passive gets me sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah. It is like that, but yeah. I mean, this is this is really terrible now. Like, you gave away. I'm pretty sure you all had shutdowns. Or I don't know if you did. It doesn't really matter. But you gave them loads of gold. You just lost both your summoners. They can go and do Baron. And you'd already, as soon as you'd like didn't you took a fight before this, you won, right? Or was it just killing Draven?
It was killing Draven and then killing Akali.
I mean, as soon as you killed Draven, it already felt amazing because you got an IE, so you'd got your power spike. But then you refused to like cash in your lead and then make a fight, and then you're gonna lose. You should lose the game off of this, but they don't do Baron, so that's nice.
I don't think I was worth a shutdown.
No.
Just by looking at the chat.
Yeah. Well, so it doesn't matter. I like it. It felt like that's the thing. I thought you had a shutdown because it felt like you were so ahead. But
I do have 6 deaths, to be honest. I've died quite a bit. Like in between kills.
And I mean, this is one of the things about like especially playing AD carry and like at not a very high level is the players are like they're happening all the time, and they're normally like you have so little influence about whether they're good or bad. Like I could tell you before this play happens that it's going to be bad because no one on the team is ready for it. They just see it and then they hope Shaco isn't here, and even though Shaco isn't here, they still lost the play. And you had no control over this. But what you can do, and what you should do, is get used to recognizing when this is going to be a good play and when it's going to be a bad play. Because I don't know if someone pings it before they go in. No, they don't. But, I mean, to be fair, Pyke was standing in mid. Like, if I saw this and I saw Pike EQ in right now, I would already start danger pinging him because I can already tell this fight's bad before it happens. And it's also like messing up the lane assignments again because now this Cho'Gath is walking mid when he needs to be bot lane, and you want to be mid, but everyone's just killed themselves in mid, so you can't be mid anymore. So it's making it even harder for you to play. But yeah, I think so. I'm gonna look at one more team fight because I think I'll just be telling you the same stuff over and over again, and then I'm just gonna write down the stuff that I want you to change.
There is still like one more thing I got slightly like confused about, as I said earlier, is how I was basically full build. I did buy fucking fire cannons as like a damage item, but like the Cassante was just not taking damage from me, and it just felt off because like I felt like confused by it because I'm an ADC obviously. I've got Kraken, Doms, and Infinity's Edge, and he should be taking more damage from me, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, I hate to say it, but it's just Cassante being the most broken champion in the game. The problem is you just have to respect him, right? Like when he has Q3 stacked, you have to realize that you can't be in his range.
Is that like that AoE around him that he's got Q3 stacked?
Yeah, these like tornadoes here, and it's just it's the order of priorities, right? The reason Cassante is so OP is because you have to respect like condition 1 for such a long time. Like there's such a long time in the fight where I'm not allowed to go and auto attack him, because he just always has a mobility spell or something like this Q3, or he's got ult, or he's got something random, like maybe he's got flash, whatever it is. But that's why Cassante is so OP, is you have to spend so long respecting him before you can start auto attacking him, which is the second thing you could do.
I think it's also something down to the fact that I just don't know what Cassante's kit is.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't know about, like, the Q3 or anything like that. I just thought he was a sword and shield that was overpowered.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, if you don't know stuff, then the only way you can fix it is just by playing the game more.
Yeah, playing the game, checking out, like, their abilities and whatnot.
Yeah, if you wanted to be super streamlined on learning the game, then every time you see something and you don't know what happened, then just go and look it up on the wiki and read what they do, or watch like a 3-minute Cassante guide and someone will tell you what they do.
That makes sense, yeah.
But here, like, it does look like you do no damage, but he's still a tank, right? And you'll still, like, tanks would be useless if you could kill tanks in 1 second. So even though you have 3 items, it's still going to take you need to have a time when you can auto attack him for like 5 seconds and then you can kill him. But like, this is there's nothing you can build right now apart from having cut down in your runes. There's nothing you can do to get more damage. So this is like as good as it gets. There's nothing you can do differently. So you just have to start positioning in a way where he can't kill you. Like in this fight in particular, I haven't pressed tab yet, but I don't know if it's important for you to kill Cassante or not. Like if Cassante was worth 1k gold right now, I would just ghost and I would turn on my rockets and I would like walk in and out of his range. Because his range, he's going to dash here and then he's going to Q3 to like here. So I would stand like on this cross and I would pop my ghost and I just like click forward to auto attack him and then click back and trying to bait him into doing his little dash, and then I would dodge his, or I'd walk out of his Q. You don't even have to dodge it, you can just walk out the back. But I'd be trying to tether that the whole time. Do you know what tethering is?
No.
So, tethering is like, I don't really know how to explain this. Let's go in a custom room, because this is like a really important concept. What's your name on the league?
Freaking F3 N R 1 R 1079.
Okay. Did you get it from August?
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Does this mean anything, by the way? FR3N.
It's Fenrir, but with numbers.
Ah. So you lock in Caitlyn, and
Caitlyn?
yep, and I'm gonna go Sivir.
Alright, I'm awful at Caitlyn.
Don't worry. The only reason I'm saying it is because she has a really long attack range.
I always take my toll, blood or gold.
And then we'll just run down mid lane, or in the river, I guess it doesn't matter where.
Alright.
You can't tame the desert.
If you press C on your keyboard, does a circle come
Yeah,
up around you?
I've also got it on mouse button 4,
Oh, okay, perfect.
which is what I normally use.
Mm-hmm.
To like check my range, not as much for like actually
I make my own fortune.
Yeah. So just walk in, attack me once, and then stop, and then stand still after you attack me as well. Yeah. So if you press C now, that circle is your zone of threat. And what tethering is I should walk in and outside of your zone of threat really quickly. So I'm stepping in and out of it, and I'm basically baiting you to try and use whatever it is that is your spell.
Right. Yeah.
For Cassante, it was going to be him dashing forward to here and then using his Q on you. And that's what you should be trying to bait in a fight, to like attack Cassante, if you want to attack him. For me, when I'm Sivir, like if you watch my stream quickly,
Yep.
my zone of threat,
It's not stealing if
Is
they're
a lot smaller.
yeah, is a lot smaller. So like when I'm as Caitlyn, or what I'm doing as Sivir, is I should be trying to get all the way to here, whereas your zone of threat is like where this ward is. So I have to make this much distance to try and,
Yeah.
like, if I can do that, then I'm winning. But
You've got a problem.
you should be, like, every time I click forward, you should be stepping away from me. And then that's what you should have been, that's what I'm trying to explain you should do against Cassante in this fight. Is you should be
Spacing,
yeah. And then if you can do that, and then he misses, like if he does his little dash and then he misses his Q3, then he doesn't have anything he could do anymore to kill you. Like he's got his W, which is where he stands still, and then dashes a little bit, but that's super easy to dodge, so you wouldn't have a problem with that. And if you do that, then you're going to be able to free hit Cassante in this fight. Which is, and then if you can do that, then you're going to stack lethal tempo. Like you can be in your minigun form. You'll have a lot more DPS than it looks like you do right now. Because in that fight that we were looking at, it was literally just like you had one stack on your minigun and you autoed him once. So it looks like it's no damage, but you kind of need to ramp up a bit because you want to stack your minigun, and you also want to stack lethal tempo, and you want to stack Kraken Slayer. Like there's a lot of things that require you to attack for a long time before your damage goes up.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's that tier list which you need to keep in mind, and it's just the two things of what's going to kill me, and then if I've like ticked off that nothing's going to kill me, then I can start attacking people. And number two, and it'll be different in every game. So, like actually, that's a good thing we could do. I'm going to just look on your match history, and I want you to like make the tier list for me, in every game of what can kill you and what can't.
Okay.
So, in this game here,
Well, Belveth can gap close really quickly if she has a dash in my direction. Syndra can silence me and knock me back, which I learned in that game. Kallista's really good in a 1v1 situation. Lux stuns and ults me and I'm dead. And Mordekaiser, is a tank, so I can't really 1v1 him.
Yeah. So, what I would think in this one...
And Mordekaiser ult is big no-no.
Yeah. So, I would think that against Mordekaiser, I can never get in range of his of his circle. So, like if I'm ever in range of his circle, I'm losing because I'll be in his ult range then. And then the longer range one, which is more important, is his E, which is his pull. Like I can never be in range of his... Or if he's got E up, then I need to be aware of that. But if he doesn't have E up, then I can walk closer towards his circle a little bit. Like it's easier to space when his E's on cooldown. And then for Belveth, I would again be thinking like I can't be in her attack range circle because she's just going to beat me in that attack range circle. So I always need to be outside of that attack range. And the way that she gets into this attack range is by doing her dash, so her Qs, which you can see next to her health bar. They're like the little circles. And then I also need to be thinking about her knock-up on top of all that as well. So her knock-up, which is I think her W. So those are the three things I need to think about for Belveth in that order as well. Knock-up, Q, and then auto attack. For Syndra, it's just her stun that I'd be scared about, really. Like just her E is what I would think about in fights, which she pushes her balls to stun you.
Yeah.
The other ones, like she always has her Q up, right, which is her circle, and it's just on you to try and dodge that Q. Like Syndra's always going to be able to Q and then ult you. And sure, it can kill you, but it's your job to sidestep the Q. Because otherwise there'll be no time in the entire game when you can attack Syndra. And like sometimes she'll even be so weak, like she was in this game, where she had no items, like she was just griefing, where like even if she could QR you, you're just going to tank it and kill her afterwards anyway. For Kai'Sa, like again, she's just an ADC, right? Like she has no spell which really changes how the fight plays. It's like if I have more damage than her, then I can hit her, and if I don't have more damage than her, then I can't hit her. That's kind of how it plays against Kai'Sa. And you just learn that by getting a feeling for it. And then against Lux, I'm just thinking about her Q, which is her root, like, and her E as well. But that's like it doesn't matter as much as her Q. So like if I see Lux use Q, then I'll just click in a straight line towards her, towards attack her. And so all these things is what I would have in my head when I look at this fight.
Yeah, and that helps a lot if I, in the loading screen, have a quick think of that. And just look through each champ and be like, okay, this is going to do this, and this is going to do this.
Yeah, and then...
Rather than thinking of it in-game, which is then is like, I'm thinking too much about it when I should be focusing on the game.
And most of these are like, they're really obvious. Like, for example, Mordekaiser, this is the same for like every top laner in the whole game. Like, they all play exactly the same as this, where like I don't want to walk inside their melee range, and they probably have a spell that they need to use to get in range of someone, which for Mordekaiser is a Z. So it's like quite easy to do. You can learn this really fast, and then as soon as I check all of these off, then I know I can start just attacking people. And this, it's going to come down to like knowing champs. Like again, if I did it in this game, where you're against blue team, what would you say for blue team?
I'm in blue team, so I'm looking at the red team.
Oh yeah, sorry. Red team.
Morgana's stun is a death wish along with Lux stun.
Mhm.
Caitlyn can tether me with her attack range,
Mhm.
and Nocturne can ult me from like halfway across the map, so I can't ever be alone in like a side lane.
Mhm.
The only like outlier I'm thinking of is Garen, because Garen isn't really fast.
Yeah.
For my like to get to me fast, so that's the only one I'm thinking of is slightly safer almost.
Yeah.
But to stay away from obviously from his attack range and his yeah.
Mhm. Okay, I agree with that. Like again, it's just, I think this one is literally just the Morgana and the Lux Q. Are the two, pardon me, are the two long range ones. Like the other ones, you can just walk into them and start attacking them and trading with them. And like team fights are really easy for you to play. Like you just click towards them and you click away from them. And there's like nothing silly that you have to think about, like a Malphite ult or something. There's nothing you have to think about like that. It's just the Lux Q and the Morgana Q.
Okay.
I think that's a really good exercise to do. Or just not even exercise, just to do it every time you get into a game. Look at another team fight, I think.
At this point, it was just kind of all downhill.
Yeah, and like at this point, it's just gonna be a fist fight, right? It's just gonna be mechanics. Jesus Christ, this champion is so ridiculous. It actually makes me laugh whenever I see it. Like, he has 500 HP, you're full HP, you have the perfect build to kill him with. He doesn't have his Q3, and then he just kills you. So, like,
I do kill him back with the tower, but on the cost of my own life when they're already under the tower.
yeah. So again, like, you do the right thing where you W at the start. That's really good. Now you slow him, and he's basically rooted, because Jinx slow is such a good spell. But I think you have to try and stay at your max range. So instead of doing the minigun, I would just use my Q, and then your Q range is like this much, a little bit behind him.
Yeah.
And I would just really focus on like walking in and walking out of his range, and trying to bait him to dash without him actually getting in range of you. Because obviously, like, as soon as he dashes, there's just no counterplay. He just kills you. So if you manage to dodge this thing here, he did, which you might have been able to do with Q, then you would kill him. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say. This I think this champion's broken. I don't know how it's allowed. Because like when a champion's like this, where it's so OP that you can't do anything, kind of like Master Yi, like the only counterplay at that point is CC. Because then you can hit them and they can't hit you back. So like if you ever have this feeling where you're like, oh, this champion is just ridiculous, I can't do anything, then you just need to know that you can only play when you have CC and when you have peel. I want to see like an objective fight though. That's what I really want to see. But I mean, all the fights are really disorganized. This one maybe.
I don't think anything like drastic happens.
Maybe this one.
I did proc I did shoot an ult and got a kill.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, I don't think I get there in time. I was actually like amazed at the amount of picks I just got from my ult this game.
Yeah. See, this time you do the opposite. You see, where he gets CC'd and then you walk away from him. Like here, he used his dash away from you, and then he gets CC'd, and then you click away from him.
because I know the second he gets unstunned, he's just going to in-lead you, one-shot me.
Yeah, but I think you could stand here, and you could Q him, and because you got lethal tempo stacked, he's going to be in range. And I would just do max range rockets, and I don't know if he kills me there, like where I'm max range with my lethal tempo stacked, using my Q, so I've got like literally 1,000 range, and I've got my 2 teammates standing here, and Pike has just stunned him here. Like, literally everything is telling me I should attack him here.
Okay.
So, like, if you can't kill him here, then you can never kill him. So you may as well just FF the game at that point. Because he was literally 1v4. So.
I do know that right at the end we win a fight and then Shaker backdoors the minute after we win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean it's really difficult for you to play. You need to. This will be again thinking about like what can kill you is Shaco's stealth, like just stealthing and backstabbing you. So I think as soon as you see Shaco go invisible here, you need to ghost and run away from where he was. So as soon as I saw him Q there, I would just pop my ghost and ran towards this tower here. And I'll probably throw E at you and slow you, but as soon as he turns around him, then you can start attacking the Shaco, and you'll force him to ult. But he gets, because you don't move now, he can get an auto attack range, and then he can kill you.
And then we run down a Draven for the last fucking like 5 seconds. Literally using everything to kill.
Do you use A-click as well, right?
A-click? I
Like,
use right click. I've set it up so I do right click, left click, right click, left click.
Oh, you have one left click. Okay, that's smart. Yeah, it's good to use that. I think it makes a massive difference. It's way too difficult to just use right click. But yeah, okay. I think, yeah, if I'll write everything down. So I think the most important thing that I would do, that I'd fix first, is fix your camera control. Which will also be the hardest thing to fix for you. Yeah. And then I would do game plan and loading screen. And then I would do my threats in team fights. I think if you do these 3 things, then it'll make you like, you'll be twice as good of a player after doing this.
Alright.
Yeah, that's what I would say after watching it. Yeah. Sorry if that was, like, I felt like that was quite a difficult game to, like, give you any solid pointers, because it was kind of the same thing over and over again. So
yeah, but it's like, it's because it's such a big mistake, you can't really get to like the mistakes you make if you were doing the right thing, because of the fact that like I'm already like doing the same thing wrong over and over again, obviously, and can't fix it post game.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, I thought like in terms of laning, you looked really solid. Like, your game plan was solid. Like, you were doing the right thing, which, not making any mistakes in lane phase is really impressive, because a lot of people make mistakes in lane phase. So
I was so proud yesterday in like the tournament, because they were hyping up this player, right? And I was like, I picked Jin. I was like, I don't like Jin this season. I don't know why. I just can't play him well this season, like I could last season. And I was like, I'm gonna like lose. I came out of that game. Sure, I had like awful CS. Like, the opponent had like pretty much perfect CS almost. But I came out of that with no deaths, and I was so proud.
Nice. Yeah. And that's, I mean, that is a good starting point, for sure. As AD carry, having no deaths is a good thing.
But yeah, I will fix my camera, do those game plans, and analyze every threat before team fights, because it makes a lot of difference from what I can tell.
Yeah, and to be honest, like these things are like they're quite easy to fix as well. So I think you'll fix them really fast, and you'll see yourself get a lot better really quickly. So it's positive.
Another thing I like really quickly picked up on when you like go to the wiki and check the cooldowns. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Like I'm always like, oh, I know like this has a long cooldown or whatever, because I like obviously Blitzcrank Q or whatever has like a huge cooldown, so I always know to push that when that happens. But, like I don't know if Deluxe is like reset for her Q, so I don't know actually how long to push. So I know now that, to be honest, I can quickly alt tab like when I'm back, when next back or whatever, and just quickly check it.
Yeah, it obviously
Like a vague idea.
it'll obviously change for like CDR and stuff, but
Yeah, of course.
it's really good. Like
early game especially, it will be like a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
No, I think this was really useful, to be honest.
Nice. I'm happy. I'm happy it was useful because I think AD carry is one of the harder roles to coach, especially for like solo queue, because a lot of it depends upon your team. So.
A lot of this was also for my flex team, just because I want to play AD carry. I know I've been pushed to support for now as well, but overall I do want to be good at the AD carry role so that I can help the team get like higher ranks or whatever. Because I know that although I've got the least agency and everything, I do make like a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, and you can kind of see how much AD carry is to do more with your with your team fighting than your macro, because it's hard to give you any macro tips there as an AD carry. Like in a more organized game, I can show you how to farm properly, but it's too difficult in a game like this. And these things are so much more important. So
that's fine. Yeah.
All right then, cool. I'll stop recording there. And